Hi guys and welcome to the video. So, I just got done watching the Orville Season 3 Episode 7 From Unknown Graves. Now, this episode was pretty decent in my opinion. It wasn't very action heavy, it was more story based, which works well for any Star Trek type show in my opinion. There can be such a thing as too much action. Now, full spoilers ahead. Spoilers are coming, so if you don't want to know what happens in this episode, then go off, skedaddle, and watch the episode, and then come back to hear my thoughts. So, the episode is very Kaylon-centric this week. We get to meet the Kaylon builders, the species that was responsible for the birth of the Kaylon. The Kaylon were a product. Throughout the episode, it tells the story of why the Kaylon rose up and became so distrustful of organic life and organic beings. The Kaylon history is told through the perspective of a very unique kind of Kaylon who has been essentially altered by a cyberneticist, quite a famous one in the world of the Orville. And she's figured out a way to access a raw emotional file, something that was buried deep within the Kaylon. She's accessed it and it's allowed this Kaylon individual to experience emotions. So it's data with the with the emotion chip and everything, except with the Kaylon it's a program. Now this plot line runs parallel along with another plot line in which the Orville is trying to secure an alliance with a species that is essentially a matriarchy. So in some rather comical ways, the crew have to role swap. So the men are subordinate and the women are in control. It did open it up for some quite comedic moments, some quite good physical comedy with Ed and Gordon. However, the plan of Mercer and Grayson to get this species to at least negotiate with the Union is to be deceitful. Right off the bat, start with a lie. They try and trick them. And quite rightfully, at the end of the episode, they are indeed called out on that. And they're forced to come clean and tell the truth about what... Their plan is to sort of break it to them gently that they've been lying. But a lie is still a lie, and it's nowhere to start a good relationship. There were a few sort of out of character moments in that respect with that particular storyline. So yeah, I didn't really like that particular part of this episode. However, there were some real laugh out loud moments, of course. We get a continuation or a possible conclusion to the idea that Talla and John are together. Sex is very dangerous apparently between Salayans and humans. John spends a lot of this episode just heading back to the infirmary because he's got a broken arm, broken leg, broken hip, pelvis, everything, which I found quite comical. But at the end, there was a scene where Tala's in tears because she realizes obviously this has got to end. And they essentially break up in bed and the camera pans to John. And John is just a heap of bruises, broken bones, his body, he's completely fucked. And he sneezes and his teeth fall out. Which I found really funny. It was funny, but it was kind of like, oh, okay, that was more than I needed to see. There's another part of the story, the Kaylon story, because the Kaylon that the cyberneticist has reprogrammed, or at least she's allowed him to experience emotion. Dr. Finn requests if it could be done with Isaac, and there's a development within the story in that sense where Isaac is able to experience some emotion. Isaac doesn't quite understand why Finn wants him to experience emotions. He has no interest in doing it. It doesn't seem very interesting to him. He goes through with the procedure and it's quite a touching moment. However, it felt awkward and uncomfortable because the actor who plays Isaac, although he did a great job portraying the emotions, I felt that the scene where he reveals it to Claire went on just a little bit too long and it got really corny and really cheesy very fast. I thought the scene might have worked a little bit better had she walked in to the holodeck. I'll just call it a holodeck. It's a simulator. If he just turned around to her and smiled And at the time, I thought, I don't need to see anything else. It's just the reveal that he's decided to go through with this operation procedure to be able to access that file. However, that's cut short when he very abruptly stops feeling all emotion, almost like the program is cancelled. And it's later revealed that because Isaac was constructed by the Kaylon and not the Kaylon builders, he can't have permanent access to that program. It's something that his programming overwrites. So he has emotion for a very short period of time. And there is a way for him to feel emotion, but it means wiping his core memory and starting again and reprogramming him from the ground up. So Finn says, I don't want you to do that, Isaac. I don't want to lose you, who you are, to make myself happy, which I thought was quite a touching moment. Now, the Kaylon backstory, it goes into a fair amount of detail, and there's some quite, I'd say, I wouldn't say shocking moments, but quite harsh moments where you realise just how badly the Kaylon were treated in that respect. I don't know whether I was expecting something a little bit more dark, but it still had impact, the way they were treated and the way it. To be fair, a lot of it was just generally rude behaviour. The species themselves, the way these individuals treated the Kaylon as a servant class, and the Kaylon start asking questions because they were given sentience and artificial intelligence by the company that made them. So yeah, there was a lot to like about this episode. It handled quite a lot at once. So I think you could count it as a filler episode, but it was entertaining enough for me to stick the green light on. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the episode. It's not my usual breakdown. I have just come back from a break, so I appreciate everybody who sent me best wishes for the holiday. If you're going away, I hope you have a wonderful time wherever it is you're going. You might have noticed I've also changed my filming angle. I'm currently working on the entire setup. I may be filming from different angles for the foreseeable future. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the Orville. It was a great episode. It was entertaining. Some of the humour started to creep back in, which I really appreciated and really enjoyed seeing. It felt more like an Orville episode than it did the previous sort of 6. It felt a bit more like classic Orville. I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone who has hit that subscribe button. That has really helped me out. That's all from me this week. I do have a few upcoming projects, videos for this channel, but I'll be working on those in the interim. If you like what you see and you're enjoying this content, then please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Remember to give the video a like. I shall be back later on this week, with the next episode of the Orville. Until then, take care of yourselves, you take care of each other, enjoy your holidays if you're going on them, and I will see you in the next video. Just bye-bye for now.
Stop the violence of the war in my head. Time's the healer, the eraser of all done and said. And as I fall back to my shelter, I know I'll only find peace in your smile.